How's it going, everyone? Season 4 of Disney Speedstorm recently just launched. The game is free to play. We have a ton of new racers and there were a bunch of balance changes this season, all of which have really shaken up the Disney Speedstorm meta and completely shifted who the top 5 current best racers are in the game, and that's what we're going to be going over today. I want to give a huge shout out to Smarty1ups, who is one of the best Disney Speedstorm players, and all of the people in his Discord server who helped me make this list. But without further ado, let's hop into it. To start things off, in the number 5 slot, we have Sully. Now, I do want to start by saying that this list is in an order, but you can really swap around any of the placements of the racers and make a good argument for all of them, especially our top 3 racers, but I still ordered them in what I believe is the worst to best situation, and Sully takes the number 5 slot in my opinion. Now, last season, Sully's future in the S tier was looking grim as the new map Kauai, the Hawaii-themed Lilo and Stitch track, had way too many tight turns to keep up with Sully's super low handling stat, and it seems like he was becoming worse and worse with the additions of stun-heavy racers like Stitch and those tight track maps. However, this season, Sully actually got a buff, which is quite absurd considering he was still an extremely strong racer, and now he's solidified himself in the top 5 in my opinion. He's really strong. He has the benefit of being an epic racer, which means his epic crew member will boost his stats by even more than any other rarity of racer, and despite his low handling stat, his top speed is absolutely monstrous, allowing him to just completely blaze past opponents assuming he doesn't get stunned, which he will be getting stunned less now that Stitch is nerfed and not quite in so many races. Sully's unique skill, Fearsome Roar, still continues to be one of the best abilities in the game. At worst, it is basically a free recharge to your boost bar, and at best, you can completely disrupt all of the opponents near you, which is pretty insane, and that, comboed with Sully's top speed buff that he absolutely did not need, has made him an absolute menace on the track once again, and I think solidified him in the top 5. Coming in at the number 4 slot, we have Elizabeth Swan. Now, Elizabeth Swan was already an S tier racer last season, being one of the best because of her ability to be cloaked pretty much the entire race. However, this season she's become even better as they made her epic crew member Weatherby Swan really easy to obtain, as he's now available on the collection level rewards track, which is super nice. Pretty much everyone can unlock him as long as you play the game a little bit, grind up to that collection level, and it makes Elizabeth Swan even better because now she starts with a cloaked, which literally means that as long as you have a little bit of luck, Elizabeth Swan can be cloaked for like 90% or more of the race, and now she's immune to all the starting skills. For example, Sully's fire, Elizabeth Swan can just cloak right away and completely avoid it. Not to mention, her unique skill is really strong, especially when used behind. It basically makes a wall that's really good at cutting down people's momentum, making them take less viable routes, or simply just stop their momentum altogether because they hit the wall. It's a really good and obnoxious ability to fight against, and characters that are super stun heavy, for example Stitch or Sully, she's really good at avoiding them because she can just cloak. She doesn't have to care about Jessie's obstacles at all or anything like that. Not to mention, her stats are really good. Her top speed needs a little bit of work, but as long as you're investing crew members into that, all of her other stats are completely fine. She has really well above average acceleration, handling, boost, and combat. And overall, Elizabeth Swan is just a really good racer, and I think she's going to continue to be good as long as she has that high level cloak power up. Moving up to the number 3 slot, taking the bronze medal, is Jessie. Now, this is when you can really start switching around the placements, as I think there is a really solid argument for Jessie being the current best racer in the game. It's just a little too early to tell, but she is 100% in the top 5, and that's because Jessie actually got a buff. She was already at the top of the A tier last season, a really strong racer, and was just becoming stronger, and now she got a buff to her top speed stat, which she absolutely did not need. Her stat pool is already insane. She has one of the highest total stat counts out of any racer in the game, and the fact that they gave her another buff is just absolutely insane. Her ability is also extremely useful. It's basically just a really better version of Belle's ability, blocking off huge sections of the track with her toys, and now especially that Stitch isn't quite as strong. He was really good at destroying all of Jessie's toys, and now that he got nerfed, her toys are going to stay on the track for longer, annoying racers, making them drive around or maybe even get hit, which benefits Jessie even more because she is a part of the brawler class and benefits from stunning people, which she is very good at with her extremely aggressive skill lineup and her unique skill, which is just, it's really good at stunning people. Jessie is such a strong racer currently, and I would not be surprised if when I make my tier list this season, Jessie ends up in the number 1 slot, because she is just such a menace on the track right now and definitely needs a nerf. I'm not sure why they buffed her top speed, it was totally unnecessary. At the number 2 slot, we have Mike Wazowski. Now, Mike Wazowski has been a top 3 racer since his release, and not much has changed. He's still really solid. He has a really broken ability, being able to place doors on the track, teleporting opponents backwards and you forwards is just always going to be super strong and OP in a racing game, and it teleports him a pretty considerable distance, especially at certain stretches of track. You can just literally skip sections of the track, which is really strong, really OP, and now that Stitch is less prevalent in the meta, Mike Wazowski is better because Stitch was really good at destroying Mike's doors, so he got even better this season, which is crazy to think about, and Mike is going to continue to be a really strong racer as long as his doors remain untouched, because honestly, besides his doors, there's nothing really remarkable about him. He's just an average racer, but the doors are really what throws Mike Wazowski into the S tier, securing him the number 2 slot. Now, before we get to our number 1 racer, I do want to go over a couple honorable mentions. One of those being Stitch. Stitch is still a really strong racer after his nerf, however I don't think he quite makes the top 5 cut. I think he's about on par with Sully, maybe a little bit worse. It really just depends on the track, to be honest. Like, if you get the Hawaii theme track, Stitch is going to be way better and Sully's going to be way worse. Stitch is still a really good racer though. I also want to give an honorable mention to Genie. Genie just came out as one of the new Aladdin racers, and he's shaping up to be really strong, potentially a better version of Elizabeth Swan. However, I think it's a little too early to place him in the top 5, and we're gonna have to see where he really ends up on the tier list this season after people have had a little bit more experience with the Genie himself. I also want to give an honorable mention to Aladdin because it is really early. In fact, no one has Aladdin unlocked, but from what we've seen in local free play and private track, Aladdin is going to be a really strong racer according to a lot of top players, and so I'm really excited to see where he ends up, if he could be a potential top 5 racer or not. Coming in the number 1 slot, it is yet again Buzz Lightyear. He hasn't really gotten any changes this season. In fact, I think he's only gotten a little bit better because of the nerf of Stitch. Once again, Stitch was really raining on everyone's parade, and now that he is less prevalent, Buzz Lightyear is even better with less opportunities to get stunned. Buzz Lightyear is a part of the defender class, which really works in his favor. He can basically always have a green shield surrounding him, protecting him from all the stuns, and Buzz Lightyear has perhaps the best unique skill in the game, being able to charge that rocket down and launch himself forwards, skipping so much of the track. It's probably better than Mike Wazowski's doors, to be honest, because Mike Wazowski's doors have the potential to be destroyed. Meanwhile, Buzz Lightyear, the only way to stop him from blasting across huge sections of the track is to stun him in the act, which is really hard, especially if he has a shield, especially now that Stitch is nerfed. Buzz Lightyear is just really good, and he's going to continue to be really strong. Now that is my current top 5 racers in Disney Speedstorm at the start of Season 4. Let me know what you guys think about my list. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comments below. I'm really curious to hear. But that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out.